Hello, I'm Mike Shackwriter, and we'll be talking about ship build for Star Trek Online. We're building another ship. We'll be going to be building the Jem'Hadar Escort. This is more of a theory build than an actual true build. You won't be seeing the ship itself, but that's purely because I haven't had enough time to do all the work to get it out on time. But I've flown the ship itself, so it should be reasonably decent to do. Budget build rules. I'm going to have to make some rules about here. For day one builds, all items must be in the drop table. This is more or less so you can actually have a chance to get out of it. All these items are also available in some form out the off stores and various other stuff. I'm also making the rule is that if I'm making it, if it's the items or traits that come with the ship event or ship, it gets excluded. It's allowed to be in because you can actually get hold of it around this time. And a limited number of early mission rewards are considered if there's any available. For day 30 builds, which I'm going to be using a limited number of tier 5, tier 4 rewards and all mission rewards, regardless of how far into the missions are considered. Now, for day 60 builds, like these day 30 builds, we can work on whatever we use on day 30 onto day 60. Instead of day 60, instead of having a few limited tier 5 rewards, we can now consider any tier 4 reputation rewards. And craft only items are also considered. But so our second page of budget builds. Any item that's considered expensive should not be replaced in later builds. This basically to prevent me from getting you to farm yourself out for an item and then replace it within some time later. Item models themselves aren't really considered on a budget build. Item upgrades aren't used when on shown on screen, and they aren't shown where here. But I try and make my items on Mark 12 where possible. Buff powers are limited to rank 1 or 2 until day 60 builds, with exceptions. Items from lockboxes, Zen Store, Lobby Store, or events are definitely not considered. Event items on buff powers from the same event to earn the shared ship, this only applies to event ships, are allowed. So basically, if it's a summer ship, I can pick a summer ship powers or event items from that event only because at the time you have got the cash to earn it when you earn the ship. So we were talking about day 30 and day 60 builds. Day 30 is roughly the time when players will complete tier 5 of reputation. It's expected that the said player will have completed most of the story missions by this time. So day 60 is a time where players will have gotten to tier 6 of reputation, and at this point, any deal costs that are now easier to eat than they were at day 30, partly due to the fact that most of your tier 5 rewards for reputation are now refined and you can now actually use it. So while we're talking about this one, I actually had planned to make this talk roughly around the same time of the Dominion arc. This arc would have been slotted during the right time in Scarlet's story arc. I had planned for a budget build for many of the endgame ships over time, but this is the gun recruitment, which is started by the time this episode's been said became live. It has brought this forward to be more useful for the Jem'Hadar characters taking advantage of the event. No recruitment bonuses from any recruitment event is going to be used. Let's talk about the ship. This is the Jem'Hadar Escort, and as you can, it's sometimes referred to as the bug ship, or the freebie bug ship, to distinguish itself from the 4 or 5 other variants that exist of it. This is somewhat decent hull scaling, especially for a ship of this type. It's got reasonably good turn rate and decent inputs for a quote a freebie ship, and as a standard antimatter warp core, as commander tactical, lieutenant commander engineering, lieutenant attack, lieutenant science, and ensign engineering. It has 4 forward weapons, 3 aft, and 1 experimental weapon. It has 4 engineering consoles, 3 science consoles, and 4 tactical consoles. It has 2 device slots and can equip dual cannons. Because it's a freebie ship, it lacks any unique consoles and does not have any intrinsic abilities by itself. It is, however, got the cheapest Tier 5 U ship available, because, believe it or not, this comes as a Tier 5 U form, which means it's already pre-upgraded to be a scaling ship that matches most Tier 6 ships of its type. So, but the build the cost is basically you being a Dominion starter or having a tier. If you want to claim it again, you can pay 1,000 dilithium, and if you've got a Klingon at level 65, you can play it out. Can use 1,000 dilithium to buy it on any character you wish. So you're technically a second character. So let's look at your gear. Well, this is somewhat decent. Cannon. This is not a brilliant gear setup. I won't build this, but this is not. But this has got beams and cannons on it, and even has a decent. It's picked up a defect Jem'Hadar set, which is pretty decent, and has a pretty decent bridge officer layout for your bridge officer setup for your crew. So, but this is what we actually get, not the actual project. So so this is pretty decent to run already. So this is almost as good as to use as is. The powers are almost set up. Ship and powers are almost set up for a cannon scatter volley build, and you can, in theory, build a cannon rapid fire build with a few changes in there. We already have the specialization. We already have some specializations with their traits already available to us, and the only one I can guarantee for anyone to have is command. They'll have, depending on which profession you choose, you'll have intel or medical worker as well. While some reputations are already Tier 5, we don't have any reputation tokens to purchase it or any dilithium to obtain said gear, so they're automatically discounted for our build. Anything really worth noting out of all this is, while the omnidirectional pull on beam rate should not be sold, it can't be used in the long run for our build. The Jem'Hadar spaceship, whilst pretty old, does provide 2 bonuses we're already taking advantage of. It boosts pull on damage, which most of our weapons are using, and we have a minor debuff skill that we're using because we're in a Jem'Hadar ship. However, 1% means that we were going might only see the debuff once every few minutes at best. So we're going to move on to our first build. Now this is technically I'm calling this one the day 30 build, but we've swapped out most of our swapped our cannons out for some various stuff. Our first, we can actually pick up one. Our Jem'Hadar can actually pick up one that replaces the front beam with a cannon from actually one of the first story missions that you can play in the Jem'Hadar storyline, and the torpedo and the gold turret and the tactical console come from the mission home, and pretty much very good. And pretty much that's all the gear changes we've done. We've changed our tactical officer to have cannon, scatter volley, and tat team. So you can run, and we've also changed our engineering. So we have power to weapons 2 and shields 1, and shields 1. I mean the defensive power of the everything else is there. Defensive abilities to keep your ship and yourself alive for when you can, because this is somewhat going to be somewhat of a bit of a little could do a lot of damage and do quite a bit of it. You could replace the first front cannon to be a dual cannon or dual heavy cannon as well, but because I was just quickly replacing it, it's something you can do later. This isn't a day 30 build. It's technically more of a day 5 build, but the day 60 build is technically obtainable by day 40. We already had a very good foundation to start with. Unlike most of the day 1 builds, there's no pool of EC available for a little while. The biggest change, as you can see, is from the morphologic sets from home. And home's actually one of the required missions before I can actually go and look at many of the 3 sets. So by the time I've completed home once, well, you've already got one piece. Well, what you're going to be doing next, playing through each individual storyline of the Federation or the Klingon line until you reach something else good. You probably want something else good first. So morphological armament sets is probably got in it. The missing items can easily be obtained by drops and mission rewards. So and believe it or not, if you're short, you can always visit Loris on DS9 to buy replacement parts if you so wish. But let's move on to our actual day 60 build, or is it day 40? Okay, so our true day 60 build. Now this swaps out quite a few things. We swap into a dual heavy cannon from the Delta Alliance reputation, and we bring in the Gamma Task Force turret and the locker torpedo in the aft. We could always move some of the torpedoes around, but these are pretty decent swing set. And I've replaced one of the armor pieces with a pylon boosting console from the Gamma Task Force wet set. What's this could be in anything. That's where it's going to be for me. And it adds quite a few bonuses with it, but they're basically one of the big things is proving pylon damage, and you've got five. You've got 6 weapons that fire polon damage. Yes, the Morph Logic set torpedo is a energy torpedo and it does extra polon damage. Starting console, I've swapped one of the shield boosting consoles for a somewhat of a shield recharging console with, and the 2-piece set from the of the Delta by using the Bionial Gel Pack for the Delta Reputation. So you've got another piece of reputation gear here. And again, our tactical consoles have swapped out one of our Polon modulators to the Lorca custom fire controls that we boosted our boost, which itself boosts our critical chance of doing extra ridiculous amounts of damage, and it works even better with the black matter torpedo with the weave stuck in the back. I'm saying we can swapping that torpedo around is something I'm not really sure to be, but this is pretty much what I can think of a pretty decent thing. And because I think we've already got a decent bridge officers layout, we've not done any changes. And as I said, day 6 is more or less we've got several of the repetitions to get as much Pokemon boosting as I can. I've left quite a few, 2 of the other sets that could boost Pokemon. I'll be trading what little defense we have, and we have with our standard consoles with not much firepower. Remember, once you've got a slightly tanky shape, it's still going to be a swine to do anything but better when you're taking a lot of damage. Well, technically all these sets are available by day 30. The deal cost still required for the cost may not be. So that is basically what I've been thinking of for our Jem'Hadar sets. And this has been Max Writer. See you guys next time.